If you're watching this channel, then I'm going to assume that in some way, shape, or form, you have some kind of goals or aspirations to be successful. And if for any length of period of time you have gone after those goals, even in the slightest, then you're familiar with the fear that you're going to come across when you are going after a new goal, when you have to deal with that. And to be honest, I'm glad you're familiar with dealing with fear. I'm glad you're familiar with dealing with that because it's never going away. You're always going to have to deal with that fear. And it just so happens that being defeated by your fear and achieving your goals are literally two things that just do not go hand in hand. I remember when I first started as a little baby sales rep in my profession. If you could only imagine what is the scariest thing of a sales rep to do. It's pretty surprising, but the scariest thing for a sales rep to do is actually making a cold call. It's making a phone call. That's the scariest and hardest thing for us to do. You got all types of shit going through your head. Like, what if they hang up on me? What if I suck at this job? What if they don't like what I say when I call them? You got all this stuff going through your head. And even though I like to say I've gotten better at this, which I have, the truth is the fear of making a cold call, even though I've been in this profession for over 7 years, really never goes away. But the good news is it doesn't have to, because you can actually just overcome it. And the people that eventually go on to overcome their fear of picking up the phone and dialing and calling somebody, they usually go on to be successful in that field. And the people that don't usually end up making excuses like sales is never for me. That's just not something I want to do. I don't want to be bothering people all the time. It ain't the truth. They just couldn't overcome their fear. Now, obviously, I overcame that fear because I went from being just a novice to the top sales rep in several different companies. And even though you guys might not be in sales and sales could be completely irrelevant to you, I'm going to show you how you can take the principles that I learned from dealing with my sales profession and how you can apply them to your life. And in this video, I'm going to give you guys 4 hacks that's going to help you overcome fear and help you keep marching confidently towards your goals. So without further ado, let's go. Now, y'all know I don't like to play these games. I like to just get right into it. So I'm going to give y'all what you can do. I'm going to give you the 4 hacks immediately. I'm not going to make you wait any longer. Now, as I've stated many times before on this channel, I think the number one thing that you guys can do to overcome some of your fears is getting aware. And that's with everything. That's with a lot of things in life, but especially particular when it comes to overcoming your fear. You see, a lot of times when we're about to do something new in our life, when we're about to go on a new venture, when we're about to try a new goal, we have all this like nervous energy built up. We're nervous for whatever reason. We're feeling fear. We're feeling doubt in ourselves. And the truth is, we're not even exactly sure why we're feeling that way. We just feel it. And I believe that the first step to overcoming that fear is first becoming aware of it. So you should ask yourself a couple different questions. And the 2 questions that I always like to ask myself is, why is this scaring me? Like, why am I afraid of this? And then what is it exactly about this particular goal or task that is scaring me? You see, the more we can be aware and the more we can actually understand and break down what exactly is scaring us or what exactly is causing us fear, the greater chance that we have to overcome it. Moving on. Let's face it, the moment we're about to try something new or about to embark on a new journey, you always got this little voice in your head. Really, you got 2 voices, but I'm talking about this little annoying ass voice that just won't shut up. It's always telling you stuff like,
man, Glass, I don't know if you can do that, bro. Bro, you ain't never done that before. I don't know how good you gonna be at that. It's like, I don't know, Glass. Are you good enough looking for that? Do you have enough confidence in that? You think anybody will watch you?
You always got that little annoying ass voice telling you the stuff that you don't need to hear. It's always giving reasons why you should back away, why you shouldn't attempt what you're going for, why you should just maybe fold up and just don't go after it. I got advice for you guys. Don't listen to that voice. Instead of listening and absorbing what that voice is saying and really taking that voice's advice, I want you to start paying attention to what it's saying, and I want you to start rewriting the narrative so that it fits what you want to do. And instead of listening to that voice, why don't you start listing out all the reasons why you should attempt what you're going to do and what would happen if you attempted, and also what you're successful at. You see, what you're doing right here is you're taking the negative voice, what it's saying, and you're flipping that into a positive and looking at all the possibilities that could happen if you do overcome your fear and actually achieve that. So what you're doing is taking control of that little voice. You're choking that little mother and shaking his ass and saying, nah, we gonna rewrite this and we gonna make it positive. And we gonna start going towards things that are more in alignment with my goals. It's simple. The point here is to try to tame that voice in your head and stop it from being against you and reframe it and work it to the point that it's working for you. It really is. It's that easy. Sometimes the thing that can give you the most confidence to overcome that little hurdle, that little annoying thing that we call fear, it's taking a little trip to the past. Just taking a little journey to the past. I imagine that if you're at least 20, which that seems to be the age of people that watch my channel, I imagine that you've had to face some obstacles in your life. You've had to overcome some things that really scared you, and you've done some things. You've accomplished some goals in your life. Well, instead of just letting those be like distant memories, why don't we actually use those? Why don't we make them useful? I mean, really, what is it doing back there? It's doing nothing back there in your memory. So why not just make it useful? Why not remind yourself how you have accomplished these things in the past? Why not remind yourself that, oh shit, when I do move and I do overcome my fear, a lot of good things have happened, especially in the past when I went up and hollered at the girl and I asked her to prom and she said yes. I was scared to death for a week, but I went up and asked her and she said yes. Or when I knew I was fat and chubby or I was trash and I went out and tried out for the football team and I ended up getting a scholarship. That ended up working out for me. We need to use those events in the past where we have done this, where we have overcome our fear and we've gotten a positive result. We need to use that as mental models, as building blocks on potentially how we can overcome this piece of fear that's in front of us right now. So I want you to look back. When have you overcome fear in the past? When you did overcome that fear, what happened? What were some of the benefits that came along with overcoming that fear in your past? Please tell me. I want you guys to think about this. Don't just listen to the video. Don't just listen to me. I need you to actually do this. Go back and tell me, what were some of the benefits? What came out of you overcoming the fear in the past? If you actually take the time to answer those questions, what I think you'll find is that you have a lot of potential. You're actually really capable of overcoming your fears because you've done it in the past. And I also think you'll find that every time you overcame your fears in the past, and even as scary as it looked at the moment in time, it always resulted in some pretty awesome results for you. And that's what I want you guys to see. Sometimes it's hard to get out of what's happening in front of you right now. But I think in this particular case, it's great to go back to the past and see what has worked and see why it worked and see the results you got from it. So you can bring that experience, that inspiration, that motivation to the future to help you overcome what's standing in front of you right now. It's pretty simple. Now let's do the opposite. Instead of visiting the past, which you've already done, let's visit the future. I'm a man of big dreams and big goals. I personally like to look at the possibilities that lie before me. I like to look at that because, I don't know, it motivates me to keep going, just knowing what is potentially out there for me. Let's put it like this. Ask yourself this question. If you were to overcome your fears for this particular task or hurdle that's standing in your way, what are all the possibilities you can unlock? What could be on the other side of that door if you just walk through that fear? Don't just pay me lip service. I want you to actually think, what could be on the other side of that door if you ignore and go through this fear? Will you get the recognition that you've always wanted from your coworkers? Will you get that promotion that you've always wanted, that you've been working for? Will that investment that you put your money in, will it 10x? What will happen if you go past those fears? Tell me the possibilities, the good possibilities that can happen. Now I want you to do the opposite. If you succumb to your fears and you can't overcome them and you run away like you have in the past or like you normally do, what will happen? What will your life be like in 10 years? Will you be stuck in that same situation you've been in for 10 years? Will you still be in that same relationship that you know you're miserable in, but you just can't leave? Will you still be stuck in that job because you're too afraid to take the opportunity somewhere else? You didn't trust yourself. You doubted. Will that girl that's your potential wife that's walking by you right now in front of HEB, will you go get her? If you don't go get her, what's going to happen? You're going to be single and lonely forever? I need you to really look at the possibilities on the other end, the negative side, if you don't go after and overcome that fear. You got to look at it, both sides. Tony Robbins said it best. He said, humans are motivated by really just two things, pain and pleasure. That's why I'm having you do this exercise. I'm having you see the potential pleasure of moving through that fear and continuing towards your goal. And I'm also having you see the pain of not moving through that fear and not overcoming that fear and running away from your goals. And we're going to get motivation out of one of those, either pain or pleasure. One of those is going to motivate you to actually move in the direction of your goals, because you're either going to be scared, you don't want to end up with the old hag or the old wife or whatever, or you don't want to end up in the same job, or you want to be the CEO of a $1 billion company, or you want to start your own clothing line, or you want to start your own successful YouTube channel. One of those motivators is going to help you move, either pain or the pleasure. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to see here. The whole point of this is really just to get you guys to realize how this one action, this one decision in your life can extrapolate over the rest of your life and really affect everything that you're going to do going forward. So with that being said, fear is something we're not going to be able to get away from. It's never going away. But the question is, will you overcome it, or will you let the fear overrun you? Will you go after your goals, or will you run away from them? That is the question. But anyway, guys, hope you found value in this video. If you did, you know exactly what to do. Go ahead and hit the like, hit the sub, hit the bell, join the gang, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. You know what it is. Your boy Glasses out. Peace.